Tens of billions of dollars in enterprise capital are currently pouring into the integration of generative AI tools. This chart visualizes a massive disconnect. Enterprise investment is soaring, while business value is flatlining. 95% of sanctioned pilots deliver zero impact. But that flatline hides a critical variable. 90% of employees bypass official pilots, relying instead on unauthorized shadow AI economies. Sanctioned corporate structures are failing, where individual employee workarounds are succeeding. Generative AI is not stalling inside major enterprises due to technical immaturity. It is being systematically suppressed and rejected by the corporate host itself. The standard excuses for failed pilots, insufficient token windows, messy data silos, or poor change management, miss the actual barrier. The true antagonist is structural corporate bureaucracy. As management expert Viri Hamel has documented, corporate bureaucracies do not optimize for economic efficiency. They optimize for self-perpetuation. When an autonomous system threatens the traditional markers of corporate power, institutions deliberately cannibalize the disruptive productivity to protect existing authority. This bureaucratic immune system fights off efficiency as if it were a pathogen. To diagnose this pathology, we have to look past the software and apply the laws of organizational economics. Enterprise AI performance is an epistemic and economic problem, independent of software engineering. In 1937, economist Ronald Coase asked a foundational question. If open markets are highly efficient, why do corporations exist at all? Coase realized using a market has costs: searching, negotiating, enforcing contracts. Internal hierarchies exist to absorb these coordination costs. This gave us the equation for corporate advancement. Status equals headcount plus process plus tenure. Generative AI is a transaction cost solvent. A prompt-fluent individual coordinates workflows instantly, removing overhead. By automating drafting, AI destroys the apprenticeship pipeline, severing the link between junior execution and senior strategy, leaving middle management with no work. This creates an intense identity threat. A middle manager whose entire career relies on the size of their budget and the number of their direct reports suddenly finds those metrics rendered economically useless. Threatened layers respond with institutional sabotage. Under the guise of risk mitigation, they mandate endless governance reviews and steering committees, stretching an afternoon's worth of instant AI work back into a legacy 3-month corporate cycle. When a disruptive technology eliminates the coordination costs that justify a manager's existence, the bureaucracy will weaponize compliance to slow the technology down. In his analysis of historical statecraft, political scientist James C. Scott documented how central authorities compulsively simplify complex realities in order to govern them. Scott called this legibility. It is the bureaucratic rule that an authority can only trust, and therefore control, what it can explicitly standardize, log, and audit. Legibility directly opposes metis. Metis is the rich, unwritten, contextual local knowledge that experienced employees actually use to solve complex edge cases in real time. Corporate compliance committees force AI-augmented metis through a strict legibility filter to regain control. They mandate sign-off sheets for code, executive reviews for reports, and human checkpoints. This forced simplification strips out the specific local nuance and speed that made AI valuable. The result is a phenomenon called ghost work. Employees spend more time proving they monitored the AI and formatting its output to legacy standards than they do generating actual value. The bureaucracy successfully extracts the metrics it requires, a logged human alibi, while completely ignoring the destruction of the output's P&L value. AI governance is often just a 300-year-old statecraft trick designed to make an autonomous tool legible to legacy managers, explaining the 95% pilot failure rate. This corporate struggle over control is an exact rerun of a settled economic argument, the 1930s socialist calculation debate, playing out inside the enterprise. Economist Friedrich Hayek provided the definitive argument against the idea that central planning boards could effectively manage complex systems. Hayek identified an epistemic problem. The knowledge required to make rational decisions is dispersed, situational, and tacit. It cannot be centralized. Enterprise steering committees build central planning architectures to approve every prompt. They fail because tacit local knowledge is destroyed in transit. Hayek's alternative is the price system. It transmits aggregated outcomes, allowing network coordination without a central authority inspecting every move. Corporations must abandon manual compliance checklists and build an internal price system based on team track records, downstream error rates, and client feedback loops. Any attempt to centrally govern tacit AI intelligence will fail for the exact same epistemic reasons that state ministries collapsed. If central planning is a proven failure, a corporation must figure out how to decentralize AI without descending into complete organizational anarchy. Nobel laureate Elinor Ostrom solved Hayek's blind spot. She spent her career documenting how communities successfully manage complex shared resources without relying on central command. Ostrom's concept of polycentric self-governance provides the exact blueprint for the post-legible organization. Instead of vertical compliance hierarchies, the organization relies on nested pods of AI-augmented teams. These pods coordinate laterally with adjacent teams through negotiated agreements and outcome signals. This structure relies on the principle of subsidiarity. Decision-making is pushed strictly to the lowest local level capable of making it well, escalating to the center only when a pod demonstrably fails. Polycentric governance provides the missing coordination layer, directing AI capability without reintroducing the fatal overhead of a central planning board. The bureaucratic mandate of control at scale is shifting toward contribution at scale. Generative AI delivers enterprise value by reorganizing team coordination, an impact that exceeds the savings found in headcount reduction. The actual value lies in eliminating the friction of internal coordination, freeing human capital from the prison of administrative busywork, so teams can finally focus on deep judgment, empathy, and strategic thinking. Organizations must use AI to compress the time it takes junior employees to build pattern recognition, engineering high-repetition, low-consequence training loops to replace the old grunt work. Firms that cling to the legibility reflex, forcing AI to act like legacy processes in order to maintain artificial control, will remain forever trapped in the 95% failure bracket. Surviving the AI era requires leaders to recognize they are relitigating a settled economic argument. We must dismantle the 3-century-old illusion of central control.